Hi, I'm your host Drew Lyall, and thanks for joining us here on The Community Producers, a monthly show produced by community volunteers like myself. This month we begin in Cranbrook, where Dennis Walker is looking ahead to some big events at Fort Steele Heritage Town.
Spending a September day here at Fort Steele and getting ready for October. Marketing and administration. Ashley, how are things going?
Things are going great. Thanks, Dennis.
Good. We'll start with Thanksgiving first of all. We'll talk about the big events for October coming up next month then.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Thanksgiving is a real tradition around here. So we have the Taste of Thanksgiving during the day, and so you get to come in and test little samples of all different kinds of Thanksgiving treats, and it's a lot of fun. They also have an old-fashioned kind of potato roast in the ground with coals, so it's very traditional and really fun. And then there's also a dinner at night that you can book.
Yeah, the evenings get a little bit cooler, but I'm sure the horses are still running and everything like that then?
Yeah, they run through the fall season, so and often on the weekends, but we kind of judge it by the weather too, so just check in and see what's going on that day.
You jump from one busy event in October to Spooktacular, and that takes a lot of work. The staff has probably been planning for a long time, haven't they?
It's true. Basically we start planning as soon as the one is over from the year prior. It's a really big event. It's our biggest event of the year by far.
So what do? The staff has to go building by building, structure by structure, and try and put something spooky together in all of them then?
It depends. There's also the trick-or-treat houses, so that's a big draw too. And then this year we're changing things up a little bit. There's, of course, the traditional friendly haunted house, and then we also have kind of a terror zone, which is new, and that's going to be not necessarily recommended for kids unless they can really handle it, but there's different levels, so it's friendly for the kids, and then if you really like to be scared, there's a really scary section coming too.
Very good. Well, we'll just recap that and then we'll let you get on your way. I know how busy it is out here. And how many are you staffing right now? Same as
throughout the summer
season?
we have at least 100 staff. There's a lot of things going on. Actors and everybody around town.
Wow.
And then in the off season it's about 10 to 20 people.
Right, yeah, because the students get their jobs in the summertime.
And then we get a bunch of volunteers too, which actually would be great for Spooktacular.
That's right, we'll put that out there as well, get some help for it. Thanksgiving, Spooktacular, yeah, one more time with the highlights, and we'll let you get on your way then.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So Thanksgiving, come out for the day. There's really fun activities throughout the day, really unscripted, just have fun. And then the dinner that you reserve for if you'd like, it's really popular as well. And then Spooktacular is going to be the biggest one ever, and it's going to be so scary and so fun, the biggest, spookiest one ever, and we're looking for sponsors and volunteers as well, and people really like to volunteer for that one because it's actually really fun.
We'll help you. Thank you.
Thank you
for your time today. Yeah, Ashley McLean is with Marketing and Administration here at Fort Steele Heritage Town.
With that, the newly constructed Patterson Hall is officially open.
It's been a lot of work for a lot of people at the college, and now it's finally here and it's open, so it's fantastic.
The 20,000 square foot building features 4 classrooms, 2 dedicated workshops, and an electrical concepts laboratory, a significant upgrade over the previous Gold Creek facility.
It was one that was just retrofitted and was small, and so we couldn't bring in some of the state-of-the-art equipment that we needed to be in that building.
It's very exciting that more students will have the opportunity to come here since this facility is bigger, and we'll be able to have more hands-on training with newer equipment.
It's named after James Patterson, a former Sullivan mine worker and education advocate, who was the driving force behind the formation of the college in the early 70s.
And I think we picked the perfect name for it, given James Patterson and the fact that he was a hard rock miner and advocated for the building.
Jim Patterson had a vision for this community back in '71 when he thought about having a college, and now look at it. We've got this amazing facility that's going to build up electricians, millwrights, and people that are training to go into in-demand jobs.
Former college student Matt Lavery came up with the name as part of a school-wide contest.
I read a lot about James Patterson and what he did to contribute to the creation of, East Kootenay Community College, which led to be College of the Rockies. So I thought it was time that maybe he received a little bit of recognition for what he'd done for the college and the community as a whole.
A trades facility like this was Patterson's dream from the beginning, and his daughter Nancy says he would be over the moon.
He got an honorary degree in around 97, and he was overwhelmed with that. And it was like close to tears, so I can't imagine what he'd be like right now.
While it's not at capacity yet, President and CEO David Walls expects a full house of 240 full-time students in the coming years.
It's bringing all of our trades now onto the main campus, and with just great facilities. You know, I think this is for the future and for the future generations.
For the community producers in Cranbrook, I'm Layla Gross.
After extensive renovations, the Windsor Hotel at Fort Steele Heritage Town is once again open for business.
For the first time in 63 years, guests are checking into the Windsor Hotel.
Welcome to the Windsor Hotel. Thank you. Hello. Hello. How are you today? Good. People are so excited when they find out that this has been turned into a B&B after so many years where you could just kind of step in. There, I have your reservation right here. So we booked you in the Mather Suite for one night.
It was built in 1893, 1894 by Robert Mather. Him and his wife kind of ran it. She ran the dining room, which we're in now. He ran the hotel, and even Robert's brother Harry, he worked the bar.
The Windsor was in business for roughly 60 years, officially closing its doors in 1955. It was nothing more than a static display and storage facility until 2016, when staff recognized a growing need for on-site accommodation from visitors.
They go into every hotel looking for the beds. Can they stay here? And unfortunately, we didn't have any place where they could stay on site.
Restoration began in the summer of 2017, bringing the hotel back to its former glory, right down to original style wallpaper.
Furniture, bathtubs, sinks, everything has been from the archives, and it just gives you a very, very much an impression of being in an old hotel.
And it's proving popular with those looking for something a little bit different.
We would rather stay sort of off the beaten track and out of the ordinary. Considering the age of the building and the location, I don't think there's any others around that are the same.
And it's not just the guests who are enjoying themselves. Daniela Carizzoni Norton has been working in hotels her whole life, but never in a place like this.
Being in a heritage hotel with the squeaky floors and with the sense of how it was in the late 1890s. I'm very excited that I'm part of it now too.
The hotel has 6 rooms, including 2 premium suites. For more information, email windsor@fortsteele.bc.ca. For the community producers in Cranbrook, I'm Donna Granger.
Up next, junior reporter Jada Heywood visits Sweet Gestures Chocolate Shop.
I'm here at Sweet Gestures Chocolate Shop in Cranbrook, and I'm joined by the co-owner and founder, Michelle Shypitka. We're going to make some chocolate today.
Hi Jada. Today we are going to make what we call Bull River Rock. Sweet Gestures loves to kind of incorporate our products into the beautiful area that we live in. So this is one of the really delicious products that we make. And it has a little bit of a kind of trendy flavors, which is like our sweet and our salty. We use our awesome homemade brittle that we crunch up and add with potato chips, and then our peanut butter mixture. So to start off today, I'm going to get you just to crunch a little bit of this, get it a little bit more, just a little bit more fine, not too much. You can kind of put a little bit of muscle in there, and kind of do it the same way. I'm going to segue over into here with the potato chips. I want you to crunch those down really nicely. Make them fine bits because we're going to be making a whole tray here, so you want to kind of get in there. Yeah. Nice. And we're just going to stir that together. Next, I'm going to invite my co-owner, Deb.
Hi, Deb.
To come in, and she's going to show us the second part of the product that we're making, the Bull River Rock. So I'm going to hand the peanut butter mixture to Deb. You can come over and see what Deb's going to do.
We're going to get a scoop up. Okay. So 4 scoops of white chocolate. And then I just want you to just mix it all in together. There you go. And you can put it on the counter if you like, so.
Mix it
Find
fully?
it easy. Yeah, just mix it all in together.
And now we're going to add our milk chocolate to the larger part of this mixture. And we're going to put a fair bit of chocolate into this mixture here. So this is just our sweet and salty mixture. And I'm going to get you to take over here in just a sec. So you're going to really, really get in here. You're going to have to do it fairly quickly because with chocolate, things are going to start to set. So I want you to really, really get in there.
Am I doing it right?
Yeah, you're doing it great. Try to get as much as you can. Yeah.
You make it look so easy.
Yeah. It's not as easy as it looks, but it's always fun. Never a dull moment with chocolate. Now the next thing I'm going to get you to do is we're going to just turn this around, and what you're going to do is you're going to start just pushing this to the edges, okay? So you push it right to the edges, but leave a little bit of a area on the back there so it's not too thin, so you really want to get in there and push it, push it, push it, and it's just to get into all the edges. And as you can see, it has a really nice, interesting texture. You're going to push it all through, absolutely. And you don't have like tons of time, so you want to just, great. Keep moving it out. I'm just going to spread a little bit more out for you here. And now, in this case here, sometimes we'll do a full tray, but the whole idea is that we want to make sure that the bark that we're making isn't too thick, but on the other hand, not too thin, right? So we want to do that. Now, the next part of this mixture is going to be the peanut butter mixture that we just did a little while ago with Deb here. So we're going to make sure that's super mixed up because we don't want to have just peanut butter in there. Now I'm going to start it and I'm going to show you kind of what we're going to do. So we're going to just drizzle it along just like this. And I'm going to let you take over, Jada, so you can do the other half of this. And just tip it over right with the bowl, and you don't have to do the whole thing because we don't want to overdo it, but we want to make sure, yeah, you can do a little bit more. Excellent. Perfect. What we tend to do now is we're going to swirl it. So I'm going to hand this over to Deb. She's going to pop this in the cooler for us so it can set. So I'm going to get the spatula, and what we do is we're going to kind of go underneath and we just start to break it up. Not in little pieces, but just this size piece, bark size pieces. So I'm going to let you have a hand on that, see how you do. And as we break it up, we'll start putting it in our container here. So actually lift it underneath if you can, rather than cut it. And basically what you're going to do is it's just a helper. It's just a helper to help you break it up by hand. And that tends to be how we do it. Because if you do it the other way, you run the risk of cutting yourself, and we don't want that. So we just want to, yeah, you can actually, you don't even need the cutter at this point. You can just open it up, just like that. So we just use the lift just to lift it off the tray. Right, and then we're going to start bringing it over. And as you can see, it's got great chunks of peanut brittle and the peanut butter mixture and the potato chip. All a nice combination of really cool flavors in a product that people just love. So, of course, there's one more thing that we need to do.
Eat it?
Of course, that's to taste the product. And she ate it before I could even give it to her.
So good.
Thank you for joining us today, Jada.
Thank you.
Earlier this summer, a pair of East Kootenay trail runners were looking for redemption as they competed in the Sinister 7 Ultra, a 161-kilometer trail race through the rugged backcountry of the Crow's Nest Pass. It was 2014 when Cranbrook's Keith Allison first attempted the Sinister 7 Ultra, and it didn't end well.
And I was, I think, 55K in, and I hit a downhill, and I was running with a guy at this time, and I knew my quads were not feeling good as soon as I started hitting the downhill, and I told him, go ahead. And from there on, it was just a struggle.
Ultimately, Allison wouldn't even make it halfway through the race, but he wasn't alone. Just 51 of the 206 solo racers would successfully complete the course.
It's such a tough race over such a long distance that you almost have to fail to learn your weaknesses.
3 years later, Allison would decide to give it another shot, this time with a coach and a heavier training schedule.
When you have somebody that you're accountable to, it makes a difference in your training. And I think he needed that.
Running 6 days per week, up to 8 hours at a time, Allison put in over 1,700 kilometers by race day on July 7th.
It dominated my wife and my life for the last 6-8 months. It just consumes hours. Every day after work, you're going for a run or doing a workout to cross-train.
And all that training would pay off as he would cross the finish line in 25 hours and 43 minutes, good for 27th place out of a field of 211.
It certainly was a huge moment of personal satisfaction when you finally did cross the line and it's like, okay, I get to stop.
The work he's put in, the time, the effort, the dedication, the willingness, is amazing.
Competing in a race like the Sinister 7 requires months of preparation, along with a dedicated support crew. In this case, it was Allison's niece, along with his wife, Gwen.
It's nerve-wracking. You're trying to get to the next station on time. You're trying to have everything ready for him so that he doesn't waste a lot of time in the station.
I couldn't have done it in the time I did it without their help. I don't even know if I would have been able to finish without their help.
Kimberly's Mandy Gowdy was also competing for the second time.
Last year at Sinister 7, it was very, very hot. I was like kind of blacking out, having to sit down on the side of the trail. I also just got a really bad stitch on both sides, and I couldn't run downhill. Initially, I was like, I'm never trying this again, but probably a few days, I decided, okay, I need to finish it.
Putting in between 80 and 130 kilometers per week in the lead up to the race, she would finish with a time of 28 hours and 11 minutes. The achievement took a while to sink in.
I guess it's just kind of surreal, you know, you've been waiting for it. For us, it was 28 hours of running and hiking and shuffling, so you just, I don't know, it doesn't seem real.
Both Gowdy and Allison would then go on to successfully complete the Sinister Triple, a 3-race challenge including the affectionately named Death Race in Grand Cache, Alberta, and Kimberly's Black Spur Ultra, learning a lot about themselves in the process.
Your body is amazing. Just make it run 100 kilometers or 100 miles and then it's fine.
I need a big goal. The big goals motivate me to do the work.
That next big goal might be Europe's Ultra Trail du Mont Blanc, or UTMB. Both Gowdy and Allison have now qualified for the draw to compete in 2019. For the community producers in Cranbrook, I'm Drew Lyall. Finally, in November 2015, the Canal Flats sawmill would close after nearly 90 years of operation. With a recent sale of the site, a renewed sense of optimism is in the air.
For the first time in years, there's action at the site of the old mill in Canal Flats as it begins a transformation into a fabrication shop and data center.
It's hard to tell a person who lost his union job at a sawmill that it's actually going to be better for them, but we actually believe that the sawmill going down might be the best thing that ever happened to Canal Flats.
The mill was the town's lifeblood for nearly 90 years. Its closure was a devastating blow for the people of Canal Flats.
It was our identity, so it was very hard for us to see that go, and it was almost like losing a member of the family.
Now the question became what to do with the 1,000 acres of land still owned by Canfor, with anything and everything on the table.
Now is the time to get new exciting projects going. We have a blank canvas. We're open to any kind of suggestion that will come our way.
That's where Brian Fair comes in, a business person with strong connections to the area. When Canfor put the old mill site on the market, he was eager to snap it up.
I've been coming to the valley since 1976 working and always knowing that it's the nicest valley in British Columbia. When I saw this site for sale, I knew I had to buy it.
Fair is the managing director of Bid Group, an organization which, among other things, builds sawmills. Very different from what he has planned here, however.
We have a contractor ready to build data server farms. And so we see a huge potential in much fancier technology and not nearly as dirty and loud as what there was in a sawmill.
Since purchasing the site, FAIR has hired 20 local staff with a long-term focus to provide employment and training for as many local workers as possible.
If we bring in outside people, they'll either fall in love with the valley and stay, like I did, or they will leave. So we're way better off to train locally.
However, to get the project off the ground, the local workforce has been supplemented with workers from around the province, including Site Supervisor Mike Crook.
The future in this area is so bright with this development. The plans are endless and the possibilities are endless.
It's been a positive change for Crook, who has made the full-time move to Canal Flats with his family.
I've been out of town working in construction my whole life, 27 years on the road now, and to be home every night with the kids and the family, it's a great lifestyle change.
There's people from outside of Canal Flats that have started work there and that have now purchased homes here in the village, and which is very exciting for us.
FAIR expects to have at least 100 employees working at the tech center by June 2019.
Who knew that 3 short years later we now have the prospect of almost the same amount of jobs coming back to the village.
Construction of the data center is scheduled to begin in August, with the first data pods expected to be up and running by October. For the community producers in Canal Flats, I'm Donna Granger.
That's all the time we have here on this episode of The Community Producers. I'm Drew Lyall. Thanks for watching.